there was some kind of allegations going on there. What was going on then? Like, what were you accused of? What's your side of it? Like, tell us about that.
Well, when I was in slaves, all those allegation stuff had already been going on for a while before I even left slaves. I actually kind of parted with slaves because, I was living with Taylor at the time. We were together, living in San Antonio, and I wanted to get clean, super bad. I talked to Donovan Malero a bunch because he was our booking agent at the time. We were trying to get me on the shot that I'm actually currently on. We tried to get me on that. I really wanted to get on it, man. I really wanted to get clean, but I just couldn't do it. And I got to the airport. I flew all the way from San Antonio at 5 a.m, landed in LAX. I just kind of got off the plane and I'm like, there's not a single person I could call right now that will talk me out of getting back on a plane and going back home. Like no one that I could literally be like, hey, this is a really bad idea, man. Like obviously besides the band dudes, I was just afraid to talk to anyone about it. So I made a horrible decision and I just got right back on a plane and I flew back to San Antonio to continue using because I was scared. I didn't want to be on a plane and go through withdrawals. I was scared to go to Europe and not be able to find drugs and be sick over there the whole time. I had done that once before when I was in Emarosa, and it was just a horrible time. So it was just really scary, and I made a horrible decision, and of course I regret it. But I'm glad because I think it worked out best for both of us. I love those dudes that are moving forward in a great direction, and I like where I'm headed right now. I like being able to focus on myself. As far as like the other allegations, if you want to talk about those, like ones with the exes and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't even know about all of them. I don't think.
Yeah.
So you tell me.
Yeah,
I know about some of them.
Yeah, the main allegations, the ones that I cared about really, the only one that I cared about was just the rape allegations. And the gist of it is, I was dating a girl for a long time. Named Chelsea, and we kind of went back and forth. When I ended up in the hospital and I was bouncing back and forth between these two girls, her and Liz. And I ended up just cheating on one another, with them, and that kind of got a little messy. I had a really bad ex in the past, and she just hasn't been able to let go, man. I think it's been probably like 8 or 9 years, and she's still just is, constantly talking about me, constantly just whatever it is, she's just always up in the business, man. And yeah, she did everything she could to make sure that, they all were on the same page, they all talked about it. And from my standpoint, I understand, I didn't give any of them closure. None of them. I just kind of was you got to understand that you're using drugs. And they all knew I was using drugs. They knew that I was a drug addict before they started dating me. This is not anything new. It was never anything new. I don't understand why they started to kind of act brand new about it. But, you got to understand is like, what did they really expect from me? I was shooting heroin multiple times a day. Like I wasn't going to be Prince Charming. The relationships were toxic at best. And, I'll admit that I was not a great partner. I wasn't a great boyfriend at the time. I didn't care about their needs. I wasn't receptive to anything that they wanted me to do when it came to trying to work on things. I just kind of was extremely selfish. And I'll admit that stuff, but you're not going to.
I mean, when you're strung out, there's only one thing you care about.
Yeah, it's drugs. I didn't care that, they wanted me to get clean. I didn't care that they sat there and they cried. I didn't care they begged me and begged me. I didn't care about none of that. But I think to put,
how do you feel about that now? Do you care now? Like, do you
of course.
do you feel bad for hurting people, or what are your thoughts on that now?
I do. If I wanted to, like I said, you're not going to put rape on my name because that never happened.
Were there any criminal charges there, or was this just
none? They came out with all that online, and we made a statement because a lot of people say, how come you didn't say anything? If you're innocent, why didn't you, stand up for yourself? And for me, it was just like, I don't need to address things that aren't true. what we did was we made a statement when it first happened. I was still in slaves, so we made a statement as a band saying that we were willing to work with any and all law enforcement agencies that had any questions for us. If they were going to take, those allegations and make them what they wanted them to be, if they were true, we were willing to make sure we spoke to anyone and everyone. And of course, we got no calls, no emails, no nothing. Nothing ever happened about it. It was all just to, make sure that slaves got dropped from Warner, and it happened. You know, Amanda, which is the first ex, she called everyone at Warner from janitors to whoever she could get a hold of, man. And finally, Warner was just like, what is this? What's going on? Because we were on the sister label of Warner. And so they were like, what's happening? What is this? Like, why do we keep getting all these random emails and phone calls? And so that was the goal, and it happened. And, if that was my karma for being a shitty person in that time, then I guess I have to accept that. I got to take accountability, man.
Well,
But
I think that's what a lot of people, who were not happy that I was going to be interviewing you. That's the thing that most of them brought up. And I wanted to make sure we covered that because that's serious. And what a lot of people would say is, well, there might not have been any criminal charges, but it's very difficult to prove that sort of thing. Maybe they didn't want to, have their dirty laundry aired in court or something like that. What would you say to someone who would bring that up, which I think is a fair thing to say?
I think it is too. I understand that completely, but I think that the chances of the same thing, literally the same story for all three women, I think that that's a little far-fetched. And one thing you have to understand is, I don't know if a lot of people don't understand because a lot of people don't take drugs. They don't understand opiates kills your sex drive 100%. So a lot of the issues that I had with, dating these girls is obviously I never wanted to have sex. So I wasn't, that's something that, intimacy is huge in a relationship. And when you don't have that, it gets a little strained because then they can feel like they're unwanted or I'm trying to look for it somewhere else. So that was just, I think that's to me is just kind of made sense. Is like, it didn't, I don't know. We wanted to speak with anyone, man. Like we were willing and ready if that was something that they wanted to pursue. But I think that they realized like you can only take that so far. And if it came down to it, honestly, I understand a lot of, the pain and I guess trauma, however you want to say it, that I caused, especially, dating an addict. But like I said, they knew I was an addict from the beginning. And the people I would like to obviously apologize to is I would like, if I had the chance, I would say sorry to Chelsea and definitely her mom, because they saved my life when I was in the hospital. They took me to the hospital, I had the abscesses on my spine, all that when I was in Texas. It's all online. You can read all about that. It's a while back. But I owe them a lot and I never got a chance to say any of that. So, but, like I understand that these are serious, man. You say that word, and it becomes serious no matter what, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. And what sucks is it all falls down in the category of he said, she said. And that's what really sucks too, is like you can lose really close friends. You can lose family over something you've never even done. You can lose opportunities. And what bugged me the most is it wasn't really the fact that like they said it about me and like all this stuff happened and now all these people think I'm a rapist, whatever. What really sucks is it didn't only hurt me. It hurt people in the band. It hurt, people's dreams that they dreamed of their whole life, to be on a major label. It hurt, parents of these people that were in the band that wanted to see their sons succeed and stuff. And all of that kind of fell on me, and that was kind of heavy as well. So it kind of sucks. Is like I could take that heat because I'm used to that. I guess I could say since the MacBook stuff and all that, like I get that. I understand the internet and how it works, and like I can kind of push that to the side. It sucks is because some of them couldn't, and that kind of really strained a lot of my relationships.
The other thing that I was aware of that was the most serious is, I guess, in 2020 you got arrested for, domestic violence.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and I did look that one up. I was able to find some court records on that. I
yeah,
saw the charges were dismissed. Can you talk about that?
yeah. It was with Sydney. I I was about to leave in like 4 hours to go to Arizona to go to work, to go finish recording. I was drunk, and me and Sydney were arguing. And Sydney has a tendency to break my stuff, so I was afraid that she was going to get my PlayStation again. And so I tried to take my PlayStation and put it in my bag. And she went for the PlayStation, and I just didn't think, man. And you should never lay your hands on a woman regardless, but I just didn't think, and I shoved her. And in California, when there's a call for domestic violence, no matter what, somebody has to go. They take somebody. It's the law. So I had to go. Even just for a shove, like I said, even though you shouldn't put your hands on a woman regardless, that was the gist of it. I shoved her without thinking.
And
And
so that was
she came to the court and talked to the court and told the court it was a misunderstanding, and they let me out. They dismissed the charges.
got it. I saw there were like two pre-trial hearings or something like that, and that's what
Yeah.
those were about.
Yeah, they just one of them I missed because I actually had a panic attack when I was in the jail or whatever. And then the second one I made it to, and they let me out.
And that was because she showed up before the court and said it was a misunderstanding, and they dismissed it.